Great, thanks. So again, welcome today to our campus spotlight. Today we will be talking about the College of Engineering and our new program hosted at the Roux Institute in beautiful Portland, Maine. My name is Marissa. I work for the College of Engineering in the recruiting department. So I work with prospective students like yourselves as they have questions about their program of interest and sort of their transition into life as a graduate student. So you can go ahead and next slide, please.
Hold on, it's not moving.
Looks good, thanks. So quickly before we start, we're just briefly going to talk about the code of conduct. This is just to allow everyone on the webinar to have a safe and fruitful learning environment. We don't expect there to be any issues, but we want everybody to feel safe and supported while they're online with us today. So we don't anticipate having to remove anyone from the webinar, but just know that if you do violate the code of conduct for whatever reason, you may be asked to leave the webinar today. Next slide, please.
It's not letting me turn. Hold on, next one.
Oh no, you're good. Great. So just before we start, I'll give you a little bit of background on Northeastern University. So we are a top-ranked Research One and experiential learning university. This just means that we are in the top tier of all research-ranked universities within the United States. So you'll notice that a lot of our students at Northeastern are involved in research. Of course, it's not required to do so. We are also ranked #1 in co-op and internship. So a co-op is an opportunity for you to work in industry for 4, 6, or 8 months as part of your academic experience. While Northeastern has the College of Engineering, there are also other schools located within the university. College of Engineering is the biggest, but you'll find students who are studying sciences, health sciences, arts, media, business, all around the university. There's a number of different topics. Altogether, we have over 40,000 students. Degrees at Northeastern range from the BS up to the doctorate. And the university itself is awarded $271 million in external awards each year. And then you'll see on the next slide that we are in Boston primarily, but we are also a global university network. Next slide, please.
Like not working.
Cool. I can try to share on my end.
Okay.
If it works.
Yeah.
Always a technical issue.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're absolutely fine. All right, are you able to see my screen? Perfect. So just before I hand over the reins to our main presenters, this is just Boston or Northeastern University's global university system. You can see that we are not only in Boston and Portland, but we are also in multiple locations in the United States, but we also have 2 campuses in Canada, and we also have 1 campus in London. And no matter what campus you attend, you can rest assured knowing that you have the same education, research, and experiential learning opportunities. Although we're all biased about which campus we like the best, there's not one campus that's better than the other. So if you are interested in multiple programs, we do encourage you to look into as many campuses as possible. But of course, today we're only going to cover our beautiful campus in Portland. So with that, I will turn over to Kayla and Margaret, and they can talk to you more about the Roux Institute.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kayla Frank, and I'm the Associate Director of Recruitment and Engagement here at the Roux Institute, our Portland, Maine campus. And in my position, I work also with prospective students just like you to share about the opportunities that we have here in Maine. And I'm excited to chat more with you today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Margaret Herrick. I am a Recruitment and Engagement Manager here at the Roux Institute. In my role, I do undergraduate recruitment as well as community recruitment and on-campus events. We can move forward. So we'll just jump right in about Portland, Maine. So for those who aren't familiar with Portland, Maine, Portland is a small coastal city in northern New England. And the Old Port waterfront is really known for its shops, restaurants, its working fishing wharfs, and just gorgeous views in general. Portland is close in proximity to other areas of New England and is also a 2-hour ride from Boston, Massachusetts, which is a larger East Coast city. And of course, where Northeastern University's main campus is located. We can go to the next slide. And looking more closely at the Roux Institute campus, we are located right on the waterfront, right in the heart of Portland's Old Port. And the campus and city of Portland are just really safe areas to be in. And you get that city feeling without it being like a crazy fast-paced feeling of another US city. You can see from some of our photos here that the Roux Institute campus is only a few years old. We have state-of-the-art facilities, including collaborative classrooms, study spaces. We currently have 2 dry laboratories for research on campus, and this is all just overlooking the waterfront. You can also go to the next slide and look at some more photos. We have close to 700 graduate learners right now. Some of these students are on campus during the day. Others come in the evenings because they might be working professionals working during the day. And some also attend class remotely. So with that said, no matter how students choose to complete their studies, each classroom is designed with capabilities for students who are working in person and remotely. We also have this open concept style to our campus. So students might be working alongside faculty, researchers, other Roux staff, but there's also plenty of space for students to work independently as well. We can go to the next slide. Just a little bit about David and Barbara Roux. So the Roux Institute is named after our donors, David and Barbara Roux of Maine. And the Roux Institute aims to address the challenges of rapid tech change, tailored to meet the needs of the changing industry. So the Roux family teamed up with Northeastern University as the Institute's founding academic partner. And they saw opportunities to transform Portland, Maine specifically into this hub of talent and innovation in the AI and tech fields. We can go to the next slide. And this is just a little bit about Roux Institute's mission. So these are 4 pillars here, which is graduate education, research, entrepreneurship, and partnership, which all drive the Roux Institute's mission. We note here, David Roux, our founder, says that the Roux Institute is designed as an engine of innovation, talent, and economic growth, which again is really critical to our mission at the Roux, where we really strive to get people to come to Maine and to stay in Maine. We can go to the next slide. I'll hand it to Kayla.
Awesome. Thanks, Margaret. In addition to our graduate programs that are here, we also have a lot of other cool things happening that students can be involved in. So we have a whole entrepreneurship team. And again, the mission is really about economic development. So we have a whole team at the Roux that is meant to basically support founders who have really cool startup ideas and increase their odds of success. So we have a residency program that supports underrepresented founders. So you think women and people of color with all kinds of resources, training, funding in order to keep growing and getting their startup ideas off the ground. We also have kind of more community-focused events called Start Summits that are hosted all around the state of Maine. And the idea is basically to increase access to the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Maine, with the idea that anyone can be an entrepreneur and that everyone should have access to the education and programming to learn those skills. So our team works really hard to create these really kind of like low barrier access programs for people across the state, so that strangers can get together, ideate on a problem that is affecting the everyday lives of people in Maine and across the country, go through some intensive like workshops and training on design thinking and sort of how to do a pitch. And at the end of the event, the groups present their business ideas to solve the problem, and cash prizes are awarded. So it's this like really fast pace. It's a great networking opportunity, and we also have opportunities for our grad students to participate in events like that. And then lastly, we have more of these like shorter term, intensive entrepreneurial education opportunities, both for community undergraduates and students. And it's an important facet of the Roux Institute that graduate students here have a connection with lots of possibilities for folks who are sort of interested in that world. Next slide, please. So in addition to entrepreneurship at the Roux, we have a really big research group. And again, this research is what I think is really special about it, is that it's applied problem-solving research. So there are these research groups that are addressing kind of everyday challenges, whether it's related to healthcare, engineering, computational medicine, and experiential AI. And so a lot of the themes through research projects address the kind of intersection of like how humans and AI and data and ethics all work together. And students, again, have the opportunity to do research assistantships that are, maybe summer programs, and also sort of just more informally make connections with faculty that are doing cool research projects that are of interest. I encourage, if this is a particular area that interests you, on our website, we have faculty bios with their email address, and you can feel free to reach out to people from there. Next slide. So we always say here, partnerships is what sets us apart at the Roux Institute. So from the very beginning of the founding of this institute, industry partners were at the table from day one. So everything from helping Northeastern and the Roux Institute identify the challenges, the economic challenges in Maine. Employers were at the table talking about what skills are needed in the workforce that they don't see right now. And so everything that's been built and created at the Roux Institute has had insight and input from many partners. So every partnership looks a little different, and this slide just kind of gives a small sample of some of the different organizations that are connected to the Roux Institute and Northeastern. Some of these partners provide co-op opportunities for our students, so paid internships in the state of Maine. Some of these organizations partner with us to basically do intensive skill training for their employees through custom learning. So a faculty member and our custom learning team will work together to craft workshops and learning opportunities for employees of these organizations. Some of these organizations, like other academic institutions like Bates College, Bowdoin College, Colby College, the University of Maine, faculty partner on those research projects that I mentioned. And sometimes faculty from other organizations will do sabbaticals and do cool projects at the Roux Institute. So every partnership is different. And as a student at the Roux Institute, you have access to this like really robust, awesome network of partners, both in Maine and then across the globe through the Greater Northeastern organization. Next slide, please. All right, Margaret, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so something we also really want to highlight is our generous scholarships that are available. So with our partnership with the Harold Alphonse Foundation, the Roux Institute is really proud to have the the Alphonse Scholars Initiative that makes it possible for all domestic and international students to receive a scholarship towards their graduate education. Right now, this scholarship helps to cover a really significant amount of tuition costs for our graduate learners, so it can be a really life-changing award for students. Students must reside in Maine for the duration of their graduate programs in order to receive this scholarship. And we also have other specific, scholarships for industry partner employees and other groups where that may apply. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. Okay, and before we jump into the College of Engineering programming, I just want to also highlight that the Roux Institute offers a number of other master's programs and graduate certificate programs across multiple Northeastern colleges. And we can attach a link to our website in the chat for those who are interested in looking into those or just want to see what else people are working on at the Roux. But the College of Engineering program here that I'll be talking about are our newest offerings. We're getting ready to launch in spring of 2025, and that is what we'll be focusing on today. So first is the Master of Science in Information Systems, again offered by the College of Engineering. This program is here to prepare you for in-demand careers in the intersection of business, IT management, and engineering. So what does this actually mean? Well, the Masters of Science in Information Systems is really that cross between business and information technology. So learners will, you can stay on that other slide. Learners will gain the skills to design, implement, and evaluate software, solve problems using advanced software engineering, and also develop really strong interpersonal communication skills to succeed across multiple industries. So the need for software developers and business leaders is growing across multiple industry sectors. So this is a really marketable degree for anyone interested in working in the IT world. Now you can go to the next slide. And then the Masters of Science in Information Systems Bridge. So this is a very similar program, but it is designed to prepare those with non-STEM and non-technical bachelor degree backgrounds who want to strengthen their skills in those technical backgrounds and enter the information systems field. So again, learners will be integrating business management, software engineering, and information technology to prepare you to design innovative software solutions. Again, students are joining this program from all sorts of different backgrounds. So we have students who are coming from the arts, nursing, architecture, the humanities, all different backgrounds. And it really wants to draw in a diverse background of students to this new field in technology. So students just need to complete 3 core introductory courses to gain that foundational skill in engineering. And then they will jump directly into the information systems direct program. Now we can go to the next slide and Kayla will talk more about the program details.
Yeah, so the bridge program is really great for if you're thinking about, as a career change. Sometimes we see folks who are kind of pairing their non-technical undergraduate degree with the more technical field. And this is a really cool way to have just new perspectives and diversifying the sort of more traditional tech field of who you might assume are in there. And generally speaking, there are focus areas for this program. So general information systems, big data analytics, I think cybersecurity and intelligence systems is part of this, the user experience. And again, both the bridge program and the direct entry information systems program have different criteria for eligibility and application. So if you're somebody that has an engineering or a technical undergraduate degree, we would recommend the Master of Information Systems program. But if you're somebody who doesn't have that technical background and you're interested in launching yourself into that career or making a career change, then that bridge program will allow you to do that. And it has sort of lower barrier entry to allow for more diverse backgrounds to ultimately earn their master's degree in this field. So we're really excited to be able to offer these programs in Maine. And again, they'll be launching this spring. And so we're really excited about the first cohort of students that will be joining us. Next slide. So this is a little bit of information about what you could expect a career outlook to look like once you've graduated. So some of these are like big corporation names that are listed. Of course, like everyone who completes a degree does not go into like working for a giant corporation like IBM, but this is just an example to give you a sense of like what your career path could look like. So places like Microsoft, Oracle, Bose, Raytheon. And then the kind of like job titles that people are pursuing after they complete this degree would be functional engineers and architects. They're in operations, IT managers, which we know are part of every industry. I think that's also something that's really special about this degree program is that you can take these technical skills into any industry, whether it's healthcare or finance or the nonprofit world. Um, and sort of like the solid skill sets that you're earning as part of this degree could be within engineering, project management, CAD design, and manufacturing. Cool. And a little bit more about like what it looks like in the classroom. So I will say that like every class is different. And so the time commitment and like the hours that you're spending on homework really depend on the course that you're taking. But one thing to note here at the Roux Institute, what we see across all programs is that you are working with expert faculty who are very flexible and understanding that school is one part of your life, whether you're a full-time student or whether you're a part-time student who's managing a career and family or whatever else you've got going on. So regardless of what your course load is, faculty are there to support your success in the program. So here at the Roux Institute, we have students who live across the state of Maine. So our programs are all hybrid in nature. There are stipulations, of course, for international students who need to be on-ground full-time students during their studies. And every classroom, like Margaret had mentioned, is equipped to create really awesome learning experiences, whether you're in person or tuning in from your living room in Bar Harbor, Maine, or wherever you might be. But a rough estimate for sort of our commitment would be 5 to 10 hours a week per course. And again, this kind of depends on like your own learning style and your background. But just know that everyone's in it for your success and here to support you. Next, please. Cool. So this is a little bit sort of about the general application process. These are kind of like the key components. So it's an online application where you're going to submit your resume, your unofficial transcript. You'll have to source some letters of recommendation. So if you're currently an undergrad, this might be some faculty members who have worked with you and can really, you know, share what your academic strengths are, or it could also be someone in your professional life, like a supervisor or a colleague who can speak to your professional experiences. There's also a 500-word statement of purpose essay that's part of the application. And this is really to give us a sense of like, who are you? What do you want out of this program? And what are you going to do with the skills that you learn when you complete your program? At the moment, the GRE is waived, I think through the spring semester, although I think in future terms that GRE will come back into play. And then for our international applicants, there's also an English language proficiency that is part of the application process. But all in all, pretty straightforward, and you'll have the support you need to complete that process. Thanks.
Awesome. We also want to highlight the student support services that we have on campus at the Roux. So something unique to our graduate education is that our enrollment counselors and financial aid team are able to keep in close guidance with those who are applying and current students as well, to help ease the application process and also create that first connection before you start your program here. Once you're enrolled, students will be assigned an academic advisor and a career and co-op advisor. And these folks are resources to all learners, no matter how far along in your degree you are. And along the way, we also have student ambassadors and tutors, and also the Office of Global Services advisors who host workshops and cultural events for students, especially aimed at international students who are adjusting to life in Maine and the United States. But of course, the events are open to all who are willing to participate. We can go to the next slide.
Awesome. So These are just some quick testimonials from students who are studying at our Portland, Maine campus. And Evan here, Evan actually is a recent graduate. He just graduated in June. And he actually worked as a student ambassador on our recruitment team. So I know him really well. And his whole story really, I think, reflects sort of the potential and possibilities for students who are willing to like start a new adventure and come to Maine. Evan had a really awesome co-op experience at a Maine brewery called Allagash. Actually, maybe a lot of people know Allagash. I forget that it's like a nationwide thing. But it's a very popular brewery in Maine, and he used his analytics skills. He's in our analytics program. And not long after his co-op and shortly before he walked for graduation, he was offered a job with a Maine news organization doing sort of financial analytics. So while Evan is not a College of Engineering student, his story, I think, really reflects the support and opportunity and possibility that our students have access to if they take initiative and make connections and just sort of take advantage of the supportive community that we have here. And then Samira is a student in our biotech program, and she, I think is a graduate of a local Maine college. And she's had an equally interesting and different experience in our biotechnology program. But sort of taking advantage of the resources that are on campus, also like her classmates, and being able to travel throughout the state for different lab classes that are part of that program. So again, like just both of these students, I think, have been really successful, not only academically, but also because they're sort of have been reaching out across the community to connect with resources that are offered to all students as part of being a community member at the Roux Institute. So these are some next steps that we recommend if you're interested in learning more about the Portland campus and the engineering programs that we have here. There's some contact information. So there's an email address for the recruitment team. So that goes to me and Margaret. And then also our enrollment counselors who really work one-on-one with every applicant to help them build their strongest application. We also host a lot of different opportunities for students to visit Maine. And while I know some of you may not be living in the United States right now, or maybe you're far away, if you are close by, I definitely would love to see you on campus. We host things like open house events where you can meet fellow prospective students, faculty members, and our team. And we also host virtual opportunities with sort of more information sessions, as well as application workshops that can kind of help you get you started. We'd love to see you at those future events too.
Great. Thank you so much, Kayla. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our graduate ambassador team. At the College of Engineering, we have a pretty robust team of current students who are excited to talk to you sort of about what their life is like as a student at Northeastern. So if you are interested in contacting them, they have a really great website with a lot of resources. You can go on and check out their bios. Since this is a new program at the Roux Institute, we do not have information systems or information systems bridge ambassadors currently at the Roux Institute, but you are more than welcome to talk to any of our IS or IS bridge ambassadors at any of the other campuses that we have. So just quickly, as you're speaking to ambassadors, just remember that they are admitted students. They're current students. They're not faculty. They're not the Office of Global Services, and they're not the admissions team. So this is really what they can help you with. So if you are reaching out to them, they can help you with sort of department specifics, sort of an perspective of what it's like to join student groups. If you have a question about coursework, like I know Kayla and Margaret talked about, like what your time commitment should be, you know, in terms of homework and things like that. The ambassadors are really there to provide sort of their perspective on this because they are doing the program and they can talk to you a lot better than any of the staff members. A lot of them are international students, or they're students who have never lived in the same state as the campus that they've been admitted to, so they can give you kind of their perspective on how they relocated. Really important to note that they cannot find apartments or roommates for you, but they can sort of walk you through the process and what they did. And they can also talk to you about things to take advantage of, not only at Northeastern, but also in the community surrounding your campus. Please do not reach out to the student ambassador team to talk about your eligibility, any updates on your statuses, any course registration troubleshooting you might have. Please do not talk to them about your visa and any IT issues that you have. We have a wonderful group of staff who can help you with those sort of things. And quite frankly, our student ambassadors, although they would absolutely love to help you with these things, they're just not equipped and they don't have the resources. So please stick to sort of the student perspective when you are reaching out to them. They have quite a few opportunities for engagement. So of course, you can feel free to scan the QR code and that will take you right to their website. But they're also very active on social media, particularly WhatsApp, Weibo, and Instagram. If you're an admitted student, you will automatically get added to a WhatsApp group where you'll be connected with students in your program that you're admitted to. So you can sort of exchange information, talk about coming to campus, and that's how some students have been able to find roommates. They also have all of our past webinar recordings on their YouTube page. And they also have a student inquiry form right on our website, or you can email them directly. They're happy to answer those student perspective questions. Also at Northeastern, you're also very encouraged to get involved. These are just a number of some of the clubs that we have on campus. These will vary by the campus that you're admitted to, but there's always a chance to get involved no matter what campus you're on. If you're on a campus with smaller enrollment, such as the Roux Institute, there's even a greater opportunity to get connected with that community because it is so much smaller. You can reach out to students who might not be in your program or your college. There's a lot more opportunities to get connected to your very small community. And you know, if you are on the Boston campus, a lot of students, although there are more opportunities, do find it hard to connect with students who might be in other colleges or other programs. So just keep that in mind as you're considering what kind of campus and what kind of environment you'd like to be in. So we also have within the college itself quite a few areas of support for you as you're going through your program. Of course, Margaret and Kayla talked about your co-op coordinators. These are individuals who will teach your co-op course. They will help you as you're looking for your co-op, and they'll support you as you are on your co-op. Every international student is available to take advantage of the Office of Global Services and Support. They'll help you with your CPT advising for when you go on co-op. They'll help you with your I-20 request and just anything visa related. You're also entitled to an academic advisor in student services. This person is not a faculty member, but they're actually a professional advisor who will help you with your classes, your registration, if you have to have a course override or you're in a course wait list. If you want to take a class like in a different college, for instance, those kinds of folks will help you fill out the correct paperwork and be able to help you that sort of way. And also Global Student Success Office, if you're an international student, they'll help you with tutors, workshops, and webinars just to make sure you're staying on track. And of course, every student, no matter what campus they're on, is able to take advantage of the Career Design and Employer Engagement Office. So they do things like career fairs, workshops, and if you're not able to go to a career fair or workshop, they are available for one-on-one career advising, either in person or via Zoom. So for your next steps, these are our application deadlines for the College of Engineering. Like Margaret mentioned, there are a number of different programs offered at the Roux Institute. So if you're applying to maybe more than one program, just make sure you're looking at all the applicable deadlines. This is specifically for the IS and the IS Bridge Department. So we do have fall and spring acceptances. So just make sure you're applying to the correct semester that you wish to be accepted to. And you'll notice that there's not quite as many deadlines for our spring entry, and that is just simply because the spring entry term is a little bit shorter. So there isn't quite as many opportunities to have different deadlines, but no matter what deadline you apply to, you'll just be reviewed by the same faculty members, and faculty do have large quantity of applications. So we recognize that this time for you can be a little tense, particularly between the time you submit your application and are reviewed, but please rest assured that faculty are working as quickly as possible to be able to get you a decision. So some tips and tricks for when you are applying to the College of Engineering, we do have rolling admissions. So your application is reviewed as soon as it is complete. And this means that all of your documents are turned in. So your English proficiency exams, your letters of recommendation, everything needs to be complete before faculty will take that next step and review your application. You are able to apply to more than one program, and you don't have to apply to every single program in the College of Engineering. If you want to apply to a COS program and a College of Engineering program at the same time, you are more than welcome to do that. You'll only pay one application fee. We do recommend that you do demonstrate technical strengths when you apply to information systems. And we encourage you to attend events. We have webinars like this, but there are also opportunities to meet the admissions team elsewhere. We have domestic and international enrollment coaches who are available to help you. So if you need help connecting to any of them, please let us know. And of course, you can connect with our student ambassadors. We already talked about the admissions requirements on a different page, but I just want to bring your attention to our application fee waiver code. If you have not yet submitted an application, you are free to apply to either spring 25 or fall 25 with this application code. This does need to be put into your application prior to submission of your application. Once you apply, you are no longer eligible for this code. So if you make it the whole way through the application and did not see a place to put your application fee waiver code in, please backtrack to the application information tab and insert the code. We cannot put this in for you after you've applied. You will be billed for your application. So it's really important if you do want to take advantage of the fee waiver code, I would encourage you maybe to take a screenshot of our directions. You're going to want to put the application fee waiver code into the applicant information tab, and you are not going to want to submit your application until you are absolutely sure you put the fee waiver code in. So lastly, we do encourage you to keep in touch, not only with the Roux Institute, but also with the College of Engineering. You are welcome to reach out to our admissions office or our student ambassador team at any time. We are happy to answer any questions, but of course, folks like Margaret and Kayla are definitely going to be the experts on all things Portland and all things Roux campus. Just know that you have a number of folks to reach out to, and if we don't have the answer for you, we're happy to connect you with the person who does have the answer for you. So that is it from my perspective. So like we mentioned, if you have any questions, do feel free to drop them into the chat or the Q&A. We are here to support you, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Awesome. Thanks, Marissa. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy with questions. We'll just keep the webinar going for a little bit if you want to throw a question into the chat. And I'm also going to just put a couple of links in the chat, just some resources that might be helpful. I just saw the question come in about funding opportunities for international students from Ghana. So yes, the Roux Institute, the Portland campus, offers scholarships for international students and domestic students. And right now there's a flat rate scholarship for every international student that is awarded after you're admitted to a program. Yep, so there's another scholarship question there. So every student who is admitted to a program that's offered at the Portland main campus at the Roux Institute is awarded a scholarship. So international students are eligible for a flat rate scholarship that right now it's $25,000. And then domestic students are eligible for a scholarship award that's based on the program that they apply for. And both of those scholarships are awarded after you're admitted to the program, and they're spread across the duration of your program, like divided across all the credits. And then there are campus job opportunities for students that include like things like being a TA for a class, tutoring. I have two student ambassadors who work on the recruitment team. So there are varying employment opportunities on campus. See.
Yeah, I can take the GRE question. So I'll say this is a very common question. So I'll say it's definitely waived for the IS Bridge program. So if you're applying to IS Bridge, you definitely do not have to take the GRE. So right now the GRE is waived. We are sort of waiting for faculty to confirm whether or not it's still going to be waived for fall 25, unfortunately. But just, the deadline for fall isn't going to be until the first deadline isn't until December 1st. So if they do make a decision on that quite quickly, there is still plenty of time for you to study for the GRE and to submit a score. But that would definitely, I would definitely encourage you just to check back on our website for updates, just in the event that the GRE does come back. You don't want to miss any of those updates. So I can answer the fee waiver question as well. So if you are applying to a College of Engineering only program, the fee waiver is available only for College of Engineering. So if you are applying for like biotechnology or some, for example, which is also offered at the Roux Institute, the application fee waiver that I mentioned is not going to work because that's not a College of Engineering program.
I see the one question about, oh, if you have a background in engineering. If you have a background in engineering or like a related field, then we would likely recommend that you apply for the Master of Science in Information Systems rather than the bridge. But you can also review the website to see what the more specific program requirements are. So that's just a general key hot tip. So regardless of what program you're applying for, make sure you go to the NU website and review the criteria and eligibility for the application requirements. And if you have further questions about that, you can reach out to the enrollment counselors at the Roux Institute, who can help with that. But yeah, so that's just, as you're working on your application, make sure you're carefully reviewing those eligibility and requirements that are all listed on the website.
I can take the question about the thesis. So information systems does not have a thesis option. So it's under the umbrella term that we call our multidisciplinary engineering master's programs. So these degrees are generally set up for you to be able to go right into industry. So the expectation is that you would take coursework because that is what is going to most likely set you up for a successful entry into the industry. So it's not to say that you don't have research projects in your classroom, but you're just not doing the traditional thesis option that maybe if you were in like a disciplinary engineering program that you would have. And I will just say that I'm not quite sure I understand the second part of your question about the administrative differences for the program being a Master's of Science. All of the programs at the master's level in the engineering program are Master's of Science degrees. So this has typically not been a problem for students. It still sets them up for success once they graduate.
And Marissa, I see the second question's about a campus in Canada. Is it the case that that application waiver code would apply across all COE programs?
Yes. So even if you apply for information systems, for instance, in Canada, just as an example, you could still use it. But again, I want to reiterate that you have to apply for a College of Engineering program. So if you are applying to like the Masters of Analytics, for instance, in Canada, or the Masters of Biotechnology, you cannot use the waiver. You have to be absolutely sure that the college you're selecting for your program is College of Engineering, or you will not be eligible to use the application fee waiver.
And I see the one question about, can one change a course admitted to arrival on campus? I'm not sure if I get this question, but at the Roux Institute, students can change their status, like there's full-time versus part-time status, so they can go back and forth. I'm not sure if that is the question or if you mean more about like changing programs. I would say there would be limited opportunity to change a program. Like you would need to reapply essentially to, if you were going to switch into another program, you would have to complete fully complete the application process for the program that you wanted to switch into. You wouldn't be able to like bypass an application process.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that too. If you're applying to change your major in the College of Engineering, engineering faculty typically do not review change of major applications until you've at least spent one semester in the program that you are formally admitted to. So the chance that you would be able to switch your major immediately upon arriving on campus, even if you did submit an application, is probably not the case, just because the faculty usually want you to be in your program of acceptance for one semester before they allow you to change your major.
Oh, I see this question about how to get sort of the one-on-one support. So the Roux, the Portland, Maine campus, every applicant has a designated enrollment counselor. So you can email enrollroux@northeastern.edu to schedule a call with an enrollment counselor. Or also if you start an application, like someone from our team will reach out. But I'll put the contact information in the chat for everybody. Here we go. And once you're admitted to a program and you've confirmed your enrollment and you're registered for classes, when you get here, that's when you will be assigned a co-op advisor. And here at the Roux Institute, our co-op advisors serve all students, and your advisor will depend on which program. So we have one advisor who does our College of Science and College of Engineering students. We have another advisor who works with our College of Professional Studies students, but there's a team that you'll get introduced to.
So for the question about demonstration of technical ability, so no matter which program you're applying to, so even if you are someone coming with an engineering background, somebody who's not coming with an engineering background, you should, obviously be demonstrating like your experience with tech. So for somebody who might not have like a technical degree, this could be something like if you worked in the analytics field, like what type of software did you work with? What kind of algorithms were you using? What sort of models were you developing while you were in that? If you were a business analyst, maybe for instance, like what did you use, like SQL? What kind of coding were you doing? So really, how I would encourage you to think about this is to go onto the program page and look at the course outcomes of the program. And you are going to want to think for each outcome of the program, what do you have in your background that could potentially help you get there? Like if you weren't in the degree, what in your background would help you get there? So that's kind of like the things we're looking for, if that helps. Obviously, if you do come with an engineering background, your technical ability will kind of speak for itself, just like in the terms of the jobs that you have listed on your resume, or even in the coursework that you might have done. So that actually is another aspect that you can kind of talk about, like in your personal statement. If you come from a non-engineering background, we have, example would be somebody who may have studied business, but might have like a minor in computer science. You can kind of talk about those computer science classes and what you learned in them and how they're going to help you with the program. So there's really no one size fits all answer for how you demonstrate your technical ability. It's really going to be specific to your specific background and your specific experiences. And for the question about if it's okay to apply for the bridge program, even if you have if you've done engineering in artificial intelligence and data science, There's nothing stopping you from applying to the bridge program if you do feel that you need those 2 intro courses, but I would say just based on the program and what your background is, that you likely wouldn't need those 2 intro courses. It's completely up to you which one you want to apply to, but I would encourage you based on your background to apply directly into the information systems program, not the information systems bridge program. I will say that because you have to take the 2 intro courses in the information systems bridge program, that program is 1 semester longer than the regular information systems program. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about what program you'd like to apply to.
These are all really good questions. And I see that Margaret has also put some links in the chat, which are helpful as well. Any other takers or questions?
I was just going to mention too, if you, because I know some of you, this is very late in the evening for you, if you're not really thinking about potentially what questions are and you think about a question later, maybe if you wake up the next morning, you can definitely feel free to reach out and ask any of your questions.
Yeah, and you'll plan to hear, I think you'll probably receive some follow-up from the College of Engineering and then some follow-up from our team, me and Margaret at the Roux Institute, and we'll be sure to include like links and all that resources to help out.
But if that's it, I think we can end the webinar. And I just want to thank everyone for joining today and taking time out of your morning, your afternoon, and your evening. And of course, I want to thank Kayla and Margaret for joining today and giving you all that wonderful information about the Roux Institute. You guys being here today is highly appreciated by the College of Engineering. So thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks for having us. We hope to see some of these students in Portland, Maine.
Right. All right, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Everybody.